Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. We are looking at starting turn 11 of Don't Tread on Me, and this is pretty good for me. This is about as high as I ever get on this turn track in this game. Not an easy game, and I think if you've been watching, you know from the last two turns what you saw happened in New England, New York, and Pennsylvania. That usually happens earlier, so you can see that it is if that happened earlier, how how dramatically the landscape would be changed now, and it probably will continue to change. Let's hope not, but it might. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into turn 11. So we move our turn marker up, and we get where'd our little marker go down here? Let's move that up too. We receive our money. What are we getting turn 11? Oh, 12 pounds. So they're giving us a little extra, 2 extra pounds. They see what's happening and they're like, here's some more, here's some more money to do things with. So let's see. So that's our money. And now we're going to look at the news for turn 11. And our target state starting now is Carolina. So that's interesting. First time we've had Carolina, and Virginia's coming up after that. So let's look at Carolina real quick. Strongly in our hands for now, anyway, so that's good. If we can hold that and take 2 other states, we can prevent this Liberty Bell from going up anymore. Okay, smugglers. Let's place our 2 smugglers. And we have a privateer out there, so we know we've got to place one of those. And one of the regular guys, so let's see where they're going to go. And we want to we want to roll a 2 here if we can, because remember you can only have 2 smugglers in a season, so that'd be nice. But let's see, what did we get? A 6 and a 6. Well, that's interesting. So looks like they're both going to go to Cape Fear. So, and I'll. And I was just talking about how we looked really good there in Carolina, the target state. Oops, why am I moving the battle marker? I was saying how good we looked there in Carolina, but that's not what we wanted to see. They heard me say that, and so they're saying, all right, we're going to take care of that. Yeah, okay, let's make sure I do that right. So, place those. Before we get too far ahead, we forgot something. And that is the follow the news instructions. So let's do that real quick. So eager to get back into this game that I'm rushing things too fast here. So we actually oh no, we have 2 news events. Sorry, I was confused. Actually, one's not. I don't think this is a news event per se. I guess it kind of is. It's the New York City siege that we had. Had some problems with that one early on. I thought that. There was something to do with the target state, as I recall. It's been so long, my God. A couple of months ago that I had to deal with it. This is the actual New York City siege term. There's 3 of those. But let's start with this invasion scare. Let's see if it's going to scare us or the rebels. Okay, invasion scare. French and Spanish fleets set sail for the English Channel, threatening to land a 40,000-man army in England, then wheel around and lay siege to Gibraltar, threatening Britain's position in Europe. Add 2 gold band Hessians to the British force pool. Well, we like that. So let's see, 2 British. We may have lost one of these through other tragic events, random events, because I only see one. Where to go? Add 2 gold band Hessians to the British force. So there's one there, and I suspect we probably lost one. Yeah, we did. He's up there with his other friends that were taken away for other reasons. So we at least get to add one of these to the force pool. We'll put him down there. And I'll continue reading on. So that's... and add the FM Cause unit to the American Rebels force pool. However, you must remove... we'll get to that in a second because that's painful. But so the FM Cause unit. I think this is the... it's up here. It's the Francis Marion. I think this is the one that... the Mel Gibson movie, The Patriot, was based on. So, Mel Gibson is coming in. This could be bad. So that... oops. We don't. It'd be nice to put him on our side, but we can't do that. So we put him in the American Rebels force pool. And so if we place a Kaz unit, there's some rules around this in placement, and I think he has to go into Carolina, right? He has to go into Carolina when we place a Kaz. He gets priorities, kind of like the privateer. And already I don't like the way things are shaping up for the current target state. All right, and there's some more here. It says, however, you must remove all blue band units from the game. They are sent back to protect England and Gibraltar. All blue band units from the game. So here's a blue, well, let's see, it's not down here, right? No. So here's a blue band unit we don't want to see leave, and that's this horse unit, who was seriously underutilized in this entire game. Both of my horse units were seriously underutilized in this game. They're very powerful units, and that ability to attack or to be involved in more than in one battle in one state is huge. Remember, if they fought in a battle in a state, if you have another battle in there, they can actually go down and help with that battle too, even though they've already fought. So I did not do that enough this game, and and there goes my chance to ever do it in this game, really. So remember, those are powerful units that you want to take advantage of before they go back to Gibraltar. Okay, so that's it, as if that weren't enough for the invasion scare. So we have New York City siege, and that means George Washington spends a year and a half pretending to besiege British-occupied New York City. Well, it's not really British-occupied New York City, but he's going to go up there anyway because it's the rule. And this goes back to the placement of George Washington, and I was being confused about going to the target state versus if this New York City siege is out, and that's what's happening here. It says here in the rules in 7.9, if the current turn is a New York City siege turn, you must place Washington in the New York leadership box instead. So this is going to draw Washington into New York for those times when we're placing him. So that's all that's stating, and it could be a problem here. I don't know. We may try to actually take back New York. So anyway, let's see. We were placing our smugglers and our privateers. We did that, and we said they were down here in Sea Zone 6 now. Worst place they could end up. Now we rebased the French fleet in Boston if there's a hurricane. Well, there's not a hurricane. This is not a hurricane turn. So, where is that French fleet? Where did it go? I'm looking straight at it. Am I? I don't. Oh, there it is. So we're going to bring them back down to the Caribbean, and you know, I was looking at it is a winter turn, but that's not going to have any effect here. But first things first, attack smugglers. So we have 3 of our frigates at sea. Remember, we lost Parker to a random event. He's probably back at Gibraltar doing something too. So I am going to put Howe against this privateer. That's going to reduce our treasury down to 10 pounds. And then I'm going to, well, these are both 3s, so I'm going to spend my 2 pounds for each. So that'll take us down to 8. And we will put 1 in Sea Zone 6 and 1 up here in Sea Zone 3, the Long Island Sound. And I think that looks good. So now we're going to attack them, starting with Sea Zone 3. So this is the privateer, so he will get to fire first. Clear that. So he's going to take a shot. He needs a 1 or a 2 to hit. I think every time I remind you of that I seem to roll a 1 or a 2. So maybe I shouldn't say anything and just roll. So he rolls a 1. He actually sends Graves back to the in-harbor box and survives our attempt to eradicate him. All right, so that takes us down to Sea Zone 6. So Hal is going to fire at this privateer, and again, the privateer gets to fire first. I'm not going to say what he needs. Okay, maybe there's something to it. He gets a 3, so he does not stop Hal from firing on him. So Hal is going to fire, and let's see what Hal gets. He gets a 2, and that's what he needed. He needed 4 or less. So this privateer comes back to the Caribbean, and Hal goes back to the harbor box. And now let's see if was it Abernaut? See, there's a magnifying glass. One of those tools I found. Abernaut. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, he's going to fire, but he's got to get a 3 or less to take out this smuggler. Let's hope he does. We want to hold on to Carolina, and he does. Look at that. So this smuggler comes back to the Caribbean, and finally he goes back to in harbor. So that leaves us with the 1 privateer in Long Island Sound and still 2 up here in Massachusetts Bay. And I actually, well, actually, this reminds me of one other thing that I did not do, and that is, I forgot that in the last turn that I ended the major campaign in Pennsylvania, and I forgot the what do you call it? The planned operation part of this. So what should have happened at the end of that turn, these Continentals save 2, and I'm just going to grab 2 of these guys. Is that all that's in here? Are the rest of these committees of safety? I think so. So yeah, so as part of that planned operation, and this won't mess things up because it was the end of the turn anyway, and it would have been the last movement for these Continentals and cause units anyway. The planned operation would have called for this stack save for these 2 Continentals, because you always have to leave 2 behind. This stack would have moved into New York, into the critical county. They would have swept New York if anybody had been there, but there weren't. So they would have all ended up in Hudson Valley here. So they're not really in Pennsylvania. They're actually up here in New York. And I say that because I was doing the smuggler phase again. It reminded me of this. There were also 2 Continentals that I should have randomly pulled like that and deployed in the smuggler's phase last turn. It would have put them into here, and they would have ended up with this entire campaign group, and they would have ended back up in New York. So I'm going to put them in New York to show that. So that's something I forgot to do. Like I said, these 2 Continentals would remain in the critical county of Philadelphia, and that's really how the board should have looked at the end of turn 10. This stack is back in New York because of that planned operation. Washington was already there, Jefferson's down here, and that's how it should have looked. So looking at the board, so what that means is this privateer stays here. He can feed back into New York too. Really looking now, I should have, I wish I'd done this at the beginning of the turn, because I probably would, instead of attacking this privateer, probably would have tried to take out one of these smugglers, but I didn't. I forgot, so I'm going to let it stand. And we'll continue on. So it's looking like now, see, Pennsylvania isn't quite as bad as it looked. New York is instead. So I need to look at maybe Pennsylvania and New England this turn, as far as, and keeping Virginia, as far as keeping that Liberty Belt where it's at. So shadow the French fleet. I'm not going to do it, mostly because I don't have any more ships. So we're going to take our chances, and that will take us to the British ground phase. Winter attrition, no, that's only actually this does affect yeah, blue turn 7. What was I saying? It's the not as bad for me. Well, yeah, it is too. It's the same. It's still 4, so never mind. Winter attrition phase. Don't know what I was thinking there. I was thinking that maybe I was thinking it was smallpox. But no, they do. So we check all continental units, must be checked, to see if they survive the harsh winter. So each continental in a state rolls a die. Die roll must be higher than the survival number. So the survival number is 4 for this turn. So, and then there's some modifiers to that. So maybe we'll lose a bunch of these continentals. Who knows? That'd be nice. That would be nice. So 4 is the number they are trying to beat. So they need a 5 or 6, but there's modifications. So starting in New England, the modifications George Washington will add 2. Carolina, no. If they're in a town or a fort, they get +2. Well, they are in a fort here, or a town. So they're going to get +2 for that. That's the only, yeah, that's the only thing they're going to. So looking at this, they get, let's just, well, let's do them one at a time. So we'll bring them down. We'll bring them over here. So starting with Howard here, he has to roll, he has to beat a 4, but he gets to add 2. So let's see what he gets. He rolls a 3 plus 2 is 5, so he does get to stay. And Knox, he rolls a 2 plus 2 is 4. Well, that's not better than 4. He had to get a 5 or 6, so he actually does get removed back to the force pool. Clear that, clear that. So that will move us to New York. Now there's a lot going on in New York. So let's just drag them. We'll just do them one at a time. I'll just drag them out. We'll hope for a lot of low rolls here. So there are some modifiers here. Remember, this is only Continentals, not Cos unit. So unfortunately, that stack's going to stay there. So George Washington is present. They'll get +2 for that. It's in a farm, so that's +1 for that. So now they're at +3. And that is it. Wow. So okay, so starting with, who is this? Starting with Sterling. He gets +3 to his roll. He rolls, well, that's a 7, so he's okay. He comes back into Hudson Valley. Next. 2 plus 3 is a 5, so he's okay. He survives the winter. Next one. 2 plus 3 is 5. He survives. And there's Lee, so let's see if Lee survives. Oh, I thought he was going to roll a 1, but no, he rolls a 3 plus 3. He survives. Okay, so yeah, they had to roll a 1 there, basically, right? And I thought he was going to. But no. All right, so Pennsylvania. It'd be nice to see this one get reduced too. So again, though, they're in a town, so that's going to add 2 to the roll. But that's it. No one in the leadership box. No George Washington. It's not Carolina. It's not a farm. No Indian units. Not Virginia. So they just get to add 2. So we'll kind of stick them out. Oops. We'll just kind of move them over here to the side, and we'll see if the first one, he rolls a 1 plus 2 is not enough. So he's going to come back into the force pool, and this last guy is going to roll a 4. That's enough, plus 2. So he's going to come back into here. And I think that is that. Yep. These guys don't roll because they get 2 hots in the cot here up in prison. So they're good. And we go to the Amnesty Phase. I'm gonna, where are we here? I'm looking back at my Amnesty Phase. So this is where anybody with more than 5 get to offer amnesty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of these guys gets to come out. And I'm going to grab this guy, the blue band. Wait a minute, blue band. Blue band. What were we supposed to... I hate to do this to myself, but I thought the news event said that all blue bands were supposed to come out, and I might have forgotten this guy sitting over here in prison, but let's go back. Let's go back. It says, under invasion scare, you must remove all blue band units from the game. So, so it looks like no amnesty this turn, because this guy really wasn't in prison. He was actually up here. That hurts. All right. But I'm being honest. I'm being brutally honest with myself. Okay. So instead, we're going to take... let's just grab a guy. I think probably we're going to see all of them come out, frankly, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just grab him. So that's... oh, wait a minute. No, he does not actually get to come out. because it wasn't in excess of 5, because I moved that blue band, so it put us back down to 5. All right. I'll get it right eventually, and if I don't, I can time travel. Okay, so where are we? We are in parole. So parole is where it's an even swap. So they've got 4. We can swap out 4. The French get priority here, so we're going to take these 4 units for the rebels, and they get to come out to their force pool. And these Continentals go into the random shuffling device. French are here. So 4 of our guys get to come out, and I'm going to... Decisions here. So these Hessians are good in wilderness. We also have a Continental to deal with in the town, though. So basically it's leave 1 guy behind, so... I think we're pretty good in Carolina. We're kind of okay in Virginia. I'm thinking we should make our attempt in Pennsylvania or New England. And I say attempt, our attempt to take back. And those are both towns. So we definitely probably want some... We definitely want this guy. I think I want this Hessian. Excuse me. Yeah, let's just get... Oh, wait a minute. It's hard to say here. If only we could see into the future. I can go back in time. I have yet to go forward in time. I'm gonna leave behind... I think I'm gonna leave behind... I'm gonna leave that Hessian behind. And I'm gonna take these guys, and they're gonna get paroled back into the British force pool. So let's do that. Let's do that. Leaving 1 lonely Hessian unit. And now we go to unit purchase / unit deployment. I have 8 pounds, and we must buy these $1 Hessians first. The bargain rate of $1. So that's 2 I pulled out of there. That'll take us down another 2 to 6. So we have 2 golds and a regular old lobster. So the 2 golds will, well, let's see, gold band horse. So I think it's just, I believe it's just 1 pound for each of these. I think it's 3 pounds, right? Blue band horse, blue or white band foot. So, yep. Yep. So 3 more pounds. I'm going to bring them all out. Pay for them, so it takes me down to 3 pounds. So we now have all of these players, all of these units available to us. All right, so now we look at deployment. I am going to try to take back Pennsylvania. So they're both strongholds. They're both blue dye counties. The only advantage I see to trying to take back Pennsylvania right now is there's no smugglers here. They're up here in New England, so we stand a better chance in my mind of holding on to Pennsylvania. Maybe if we don't get another major campaign or a minor campaign that wreaks havoc. So yeah, let's try to take back Pennsylvania. So we're gonna need some of these Fort Town units. That's the 3rd number on the counter. So that's definitely the lobster and the Hessian are great for that. So I'm leaning towards putting these 2 into Pennsylvania. I kind of want to shore up Virginia with this Hessian unit. And all right, let's go ahead and place these. I think I do want to put these into Pennsylvania. And I'm tempted to put at least this gold band loyalist into the wilderness here, in case there's any shenanigans with minor campaigns. Leaving this loyalist to go somewhere. Somewhere. Tempted he's a 2/2/2, so I can put him anywhere. We could beef up the battle here. We could place him in an empty county here to kind of shore that up a little bit. So remember, we do have the placement phase where a cause unit will be randomly deployed, and that could come into here as well. I'm gonna place him into Quaker County, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So we did that. We did our deployment. Now we do our unit marching, and this is where it is within the same state, same county at no cost. So I can shuffle the units around as I see fit. So we've got these Hessians are looking pretty good here in that's a strength 5 in the wilderness. And we have 3 Hessians in there. So probably this is farmland. That's not too bad for farmland. I really want to hang on to this state. We're looking pretty good in here, though. I honestly, is this wilderness? So this is wilderness. So this guy's not doing a whole heck of a lot of good here. What we could do is take this Hessian, who, well, he's a little better in the wilderness. We could take, so so this would bring this down by 1. That would give us a 4 there. This beefs us up to 4 here. And yeah, we're 6 here. We're 5 here. I'm thinking maybe I could move this. Maybe this Hessian to here. That would really shore up Charlestown. Give us a 9 in there, and we still have 7 here and 4 here. Is that maybe I want to bring one of these guys into here? No. Well, no, let's leave it like that for now. And hope, well, see, I'm still thinking that would give us a 6 in the wilderness, 7 with that guy, but over here, yeah, you know, let's just bring him over here. That'll still give us a 6 in over the mountains, and it gives us 5 here, so maybe it makes more sense to do it that way. And then up here, I think we're going to leave. Let's maybe, do I need to do any swapping around? So these guys are 4 in here, 3 here, 2 here, and 3 here. And let's leave them like that. And I could bring more units into here to try to knock out these Continentals. I'm at 6, and they are at 2. And we do get a +1 on the militia roll, and we can retreat if we have to. Now the good thing about leaving these here, though, is if he retreats, he's going to retreat into one of these counties. I think he might get to retreat to New Jersey, though. I'm going to leave those like that, and then nothing to do up here or up here. So I think that's going to be it for unit movement. Forced march. Well, Lee is out there. Don't think I'm going to force march anybody, though. So we can move any ground unit to any state, but there's a chance of losing them. I'm not going to do this. Horse action. If we had any horses, we could take horse action. And now place George Washington in the state with the most British players. And this is a New York City siege turn. So let's see if that's going to impact us. I think it does. So, where are we? Place George Washington. If George Washington's in play, determine which of the 3 middle states he goes to. So it's the one with the most British player units. And then if it's a tie, it tells you what to do. Yeah, but see, then it says, however, if the current turn is a New York City siege turn, you must place Washington in the New York leadership box instead. Well, he's already there, so he's not going to go anywhere. So we are done in the British Crown phase, I believe. Yep, and that's going to take us to the first battle phase. Start at the top. New England, no battles to be fought there. Pennsylvania, the battle in Pennsylvania. So we're going to bring this back to around Philadelphia. We're going to bring our Continental, our Hessian, and our British Lobster foot soldier. And we are going to check for French intervention because there is a blue die here. And anytime there's a blue die, and it tells you to check for French intervention. I did not shadow the French fleet here either. I gambled, and we're going to see how that gamble is going to pay off or not pay off. So, check for French intervention. We're going to roll 1 die. Subtract 1. If we shadowed, we didn't, so we're not subtracting 1 for that. If the French fleet is in Boston, which it's not, it would intervene on a 4, 5, or 6. If it's in the Caribbean, only a 5 or 6. So, it's a roll of 5 or 6 for them to intervene here. And no modifiers because I did not shadow the French fleet this turn. So on a roll of 5 or 6, the French will intervene. Ugh. So the French will come into Delaware Bay. And so it says, if they do intervene, place the French fleet in the sea zone corresponding to the state where it takes place. So we did that. Place the French army in the rebel stack, no matter where it is on the map. Unless it's in the prisoner of war box, but it wasn't because he got out of jail. So that's where he sits now in the rebel force pool. So now he comes in to join the Continentals. Just what we needed. Okay. And so that is that. All right, French intervention. So yeah, we do our call for militia, and continue on. So like I said, we get a +1 here because we are in a stronghold. So let's clear this and we roll on the 0 column or 0 line. 6 is actually really good for us. Not really good, but it is good. So we at least get 1 and they get 2 more. Did I give myself... Well, I don't get a +1. I was like, wait a minute. It's a stronghold, I get a +1, but that doesn't matter because we rolled a 6. So I'm trying to get everything I can because we're attacking the French army, Rochambeau. So we are attacking in a town. So it's 6 + 1 is 7. And they are defending at 8, 10, 11, 12. So 7 divided by 12 is the 50% column. Not a column to be on. So we're going to attack on the 50% column. And we roll a 1. That's the absolute worst roll we could have had. So... we are eliminated. The attackers are eliminated. That's going to move these units into the prisoner of war box. And we now have the French army and the Continental army sitting in around Philadelphia. Reset these. They won the battle in Pennsylvania, so I can't go negative. It's still at 0. Let me just reset all this. And that was that. So that wasn't good. All right. Moving right along. There's no battles in Virginia or Carolina. Did I forget anything? No. All of our horses were gone, so we couldn't have done anything there. No. That was it for Pennsylvania. So we go into the Place Rebels phase. So Place Rebels phase, right? No more units to fight. That was the only battle we had. And it was one, unfortunately, that we really needed to win. Yikes. All right, so now we form our committees of safety. So we're going to... so this is different. We have the Francis Marion Cause unit sitting out there. So he's going to get... he's going to get placed, and I believe it's if we roll for South Carolina. If the special FM cause unit is in the force pool, then the first cause unit placed in Carolina must be this unit. So it may not deploy in any other state. Okay. So we will grab this cause unit and place him randomly somewhere, not in Carolina though, if we roll for Carolina. So let's see where this cause unit's going to go. It goes to 5, which is Carolina. So he comes back to the force pool, and Francis Marion will come into Carolina. Into County 5, which is over the mountains. I knew Mel Gibson was going to be bad news for us, so he gets placed there. And we now place our Continentals, who were not placed randomly like last turn, but they're actually through those smugglers. So nobody in C-Zone 1. C-Zone 2, we're going to grab 2 Continentals from the Continental draw box. And the first one will go to county number 3. So he's going to stack in here. And the next one will go to county number 5. He will come into Maine and Nova Scotia, it looks like. Moving right along, we go into Long Island Sound. We grab another Continental. And he's going to go into a randomly chosen county. 5. They are really stacking in Hudson Valley. So that was Long Island, Delaware Bay. We don't need any more units in Pennsylvania, but this one goes to 2, which is in the already stacked. Did I not grab a... what am I doing? That's the French fleet. We don't place them for the French fleet. That was it. So thank goodness. So that was it for deploying the 3 Continentals that we deployed. We don't need to help the rebels any more than what they're already being helped right now. And then we move George Washington to the state with the most Continental units. Again, I don't think he's going to move because I think he's, with New York being a New York City siege turn, I don't think he moves. We'll check. And where did it go? George Washington. Yep, if the current turn is New York City siege, he must stay in New York. So he's going to be right there. Unless, of course, there's something else, something worse happens later, then he could possibly leave New York. But for now, he stays. Benedict Arnold is gone, and we conduct the second battle phase, starting in New England. No battles in New England, no battles in New York, no battles in Pennsylvania, no battles in Virginia, but there is the Patriot Battle in Tidewater. We will bring out the Francis Marion Guys unit and our Lobster and our Loyalist and mark the battle there. So this is Carolina, which is at 2 loyalty. Yeah, 2 loyalty. So there's no modifiers here. It's just a regular old farmland county. There are no Hessians or Indian units with us. There's nothing, so it'll be a straight roll on this 2 line for our militia call. We get a 4, which is they get 2, we get none. I don't like that, but it is what it is. And we fight. So now this is where the rebels are attacking. So this was farmland, fortunately for us, because he's really good in the wilderness. So it is 2 plus 2 is 4. So they're attacking at 4. Did I clear this? We're at 4. He's attacking at 4. We are defending at 5. So that's decent, I guess. So that will put them on the 65% column. And the Patriot charges across the hills dramatically. Gets a 4. That's a counterattack. So that's good for us. We're counterattacking. So remember, a counterattack is we counterattack on the 100% column. This time we are the attackers, though. So it is now us attacking at 5. And they will be defending at 2 plus 2 is still 4. Which will... See, I'm calculating this again. It would have put us on the 100 column, but we're already there anyway. Remember, you're always on the... You don't do this. You're on the 100% column on the counterattack. Don't know why I always confuse myself doing that. I think it's just so much fun rolling for militia. I just want to do it. But anyway, we are attacking on the 100% column. And we get a 2. That's not good. That's attacker retreats with the possibility of pursuit. And where were we? We were in Tidewater. So we go back and look at that priority order again. And so this time we're British, so we retreat to the right is our priority county. So we can't... where are we? Cape Fear. Yeah, so British units are retreating and French fleet is present. No. Otherwise, retreat to a county containing only friendly units. And we're going to the right here because that's our priority. So there are friendly units to the right. So we're going to retreat into Charlestown. So we're going to go this way. Battle marker is going to come back. Francis Marion is in Tidewater for now. They won the battle in Carolina. Pushes us down to 1. This gets reset. And there is the possibility of retreat. So let's go look at what that takes. And I don't think they're going to, but let's look. Retreat, retreat, retreat. Rebel pursuit. Rebels will pursue if the British Refuge County has rebel units. They will not pursue if the Refuge County has no rebel units. If the rebels do pursue, then a new battle is fought. But with the... okay, so it says... Well, there are no rebel units in that county, so the rebel units are not going to pursue. I wish they would. It'd be really nice if they would, but they're not going to. They're going to go back into the swamps and think about things because they're happy they won. Okay, so they won that battle. It just isn't looking so good again. And we did decrease their loyalty. They are in the Tidewater County, and I think that's it. I think that is the second battle phase. So now we go into conduct rebel campaigns. No. So again, we roll 2 of these and see what we get. Yikes. 2 and 3. So it's 2 minor campaigns. We'll mark them. State 2. That's going to be State 2. And State 3 is Pennsylvania. Okay. Clear that. And so I think, if I remember correctly, the Kaj unit will go into the lower county there. So Reinforcements for the campaigns. If two are campaigning, both minor, one randomly selected continental army in the lower state and a cause unit in the higher. Not randomly placed, mind you, but they are randomly selected. Well, we did that through the die roll, so okay. Are there any continentals left in here? Yep, there's one. So he's going to go into this. You can sit in Boston there for a second, and then he's getting this cause unit's going to go into the lower, the higher number county. Sorry, right? Double check. One randomly selected continental placed in the lower number state. Yes, so the cause unit goes into the higher number state. So placement priority for the continental first. In the lowest number rebel-occupied county, so here that's going to be Hudson Valley, so he's going to go into the... Oops, he's going to fall over first. And then we're going to have to spin him around and put him back. That's a stack is why I flipped him over. So he's going to go into Hudson Valley. And then we move any other forces to that county. And that is that. And then at the state, where do we go? If the state contains British player units, it does not. They would launch a minor campaign using this attack protocol. So, since there is no British in there, I think he's just going to sit right where he's at. Yeah, so, yeah. So they're going to sit there, and we go on to the next state, the next minor campaign. So, this, it'll be the same thing here. This cause unit is going to end up in Philadelphia because its lowest number rebel occupied is here with the French army. And okay, so if the state does contain British player units, then the rebels in that state launch a minor campaign, one battle against the British player units there, following this attack protocol. Attack British units in the same county. No, because there's no one there. Attack the nearest British forces to the left, because remember their party is left, and there are British forces in this wilderness county. There's only one loyalist unit there, and he's in trouble. So they're going to march this way. And yikes. Yeah, the French army, I guess, joins them. I don't know why he wouldn't. He was stacked in there with all those units, right? I don't know why I wouldn't. So, yeah, it's been so long, and I guess the French army floats right along with them. I don't know why I wouldn't. He's part of that stack. I don't remember anything about they only get to fight one battle in the rules, so unfortunately they're going to march into here and attack. So it sure feels like a major campaign to me with that French unit in there, though. Alright, so they are now attacking. This is in Pennsylvania. They are still loyalty of I guess there's a loyalty of... We moved... Yeah, we did move them down to 0. Okay. They're at 0. Modifiers here. There are no modifiers for this county. So it's a straight roll on that 0 line. Yuck. So we roll... Get a 4. So they get 3. And we get none. And they are attacking at 6, 8, 10, 13. And I am defending at 3. So that's on the 400 column, and they attack. And it's a defender eliminated. So this loyalist goes to prison, and they win. So it's can't reduce their loyalty anymore. It's still at 0, and they go into lower county now. They have pushed us back, that French army of theirs. So we reset that, reset this, and that is the minor campaign. So that was almost as painful as a major campaign, I'll be honest with you. Okay, so all right, now we go into the logistics phase, trading with the enemy. I do have money left here, and I can do this. And where it would be smart to do it would be Carolina and Virginia, since those are our target states. And Carolina really needs to be boosted here. So we got 3 pounds. I can only do it once though, because you have to have a lobster in each county that you're trying. Or yeah, it's a maximum of 4. And you have to have a lobster in each of the counties to get that 4. Unfortunately, they're all sitting in. I don't think there's any up here. No, they're all sitting in this one county. So I am going to pay 1 pound to trade with the enemy and boost Carolina up to 2, which is better than 1, barring any random events that'll lower it again. And let's see, Virginia is at 7. I could do this 3. Well, let's see. No, it doesn't matter with Jefferson sitting there. So I could boost theirs 2 to get them up to 9. I don't think I need to save any money for anything else. I'm not going to transport anybody. Yeah, you know what? Let's spend our remaining 2 pounds to boost the loyalty of Virginia by 2. That'll take them to 9. Not going to do naval transports, but I am going to reset the Navy. All Royal ships back out to sea, and let's hope they stay there. And reconvene Congress. It's not in flight, so that's not a problem. Continental enlistments do not expire. Determine state control in the Liberty Bell. Uh-oh, I know what's going to happen here. So the target state we said it was Carolina. We don't control Carolina. No point in checking anything else because you must control that target state. I do control Virginia, and that's the only other state I control. So we failed that. Controlled 2 other states, part of that too. So the Liberty Bell will rise 1 more to 5. Well, that's not good. It's creeping up now. It's 3 turns in a row it's moved up. And now we do our state loyalty modification check. Well, New York, their loyalty will go down by 1 because we don't control New York. So they're at 0 now. Well, I meant to say New England. New England also would go down by... New York was here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 0 too, but let's do it right. So New England goes down to 0. New York loses, we don't control it, so it's -1 for that. Washington is there, -2. Well, so yeah, they're going to be down at 0 also. And let's kind of shift this so we know that, not flip them. Oh, there you go. All right, there you go. So I know there's 2 there. So that's New York. Pennsylvania, we do not control it. Neither do they, fortunately. So there's going to be no change in Pennsylvania. However, they're at 0 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Virginia, we control it, +1. There's Hessians there, -1. But Jefferson's there, so minus another 1. So Virginia's going to come down by 1. And Carolina, we do not control it. There are Hessians there, so it's a 0, but -1 for those Hessians. It'll come down 1. And that's it. That's state loyalty modifications. Now, determine control of Quebec, don't care because it's kind of out of the game now. We pretty much already have checked for victory or defeat. So, Liberty Bell is not at 9. It's at 5. It is moving upwards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns remaining. Now, you will note that... Well, let's go ahead and finish this out. We'll discuss victory in further detail. We'll need to let's make sure that let's get through the random events and we'll discuss what's coming up. So, random events. Roll 3d6. Let's hope this isn't as painful as it's been in the past couple of turns. That looks like 9 to me. 3, 3, 3. She gets something special for rolling all the same. So 9. What is 9? I think it's the same thing. I think we keep rolling this over and over and over. We just had this, right? All right, so Southern reactionaries. This is where we're going to adjust state loyalties because I'm memorizing these now because we've done it so often. But hey, that's just the way the dice roll. That's why this game is so much fun. I mean, it can go any direction really, and you can see here that against the odds, we've rolled the same event several times in a row, which is actually, I hate to say, it's kind of cool, but painful at the same time. It can really change the game. So this is where we decrease Virginia and Carolina by -1 each. So Virginia and Carolina, and those are the ones I didn't want to decrease. Now Carolina's at 0. And Virginia goes down again, so I wasted that money. Didn't really waste it. It held him at 7 was the end result. And New England and New York will increase by 1. So New England and New York increase by 1. And Pennsylvania is the oddball. It will... let's roll on this and we'll keep our... Well, let's do the... Well, I already marked it, so never mind. Clear that. On an even roll, Pennsylvania will increase their loyalty. On an odd roll, they'll decrease it. Well, they can't decrease it, but let's see. That is an even roll. So we increased their loyalty by 1, so they were 0. They'll come up by 1. We'll take it. Every little bit helps right now. And we move along to Hessian Atrocities. So this is strictly against the Hessians. So we pick one random state. And let's see. So we're going to roll. The state is 2. It's New York. There's no Hessians there, and I believe you treat that as a non-event. Where did it go? Atrocities. Randomly pick one state. Roll again if it's a 6 that has at least one of the designated armies in it, and reduce the loyalties by 2. So, yeah. So this is 15-8, right? Yes, so 15-8 is basically, so it's not you roll a random state. You roll a random state to get a state that has one of those units in there. So, basically, yeah, so it's going to be either... We do have a Hessian unit in Virginia. We have a Hessian unit in Carolina. I don't really want to reduce loyalty in either one, so we will say on a 1, 2, 3, it's Virginia. 4, 5, 6, it's Carolina. Let's see. It is Carolina. So there's Hessians in there. They're down there. So they committed some sort of atrocity, and that's going to reduce Carolina's loyalty by, I think it said 2. By 2. Excuse me, by 2. Well, Carolina's at 0. It can't get any lower than 2. So, there you go. Ships of the line sent abroad. Ugh. So this is one of our strength 4s. My choice, I don't know what it would matter, is move to In Harbor. So let's see. We'll just... I don't, never pondered why it's player's choice. I guess it's just flavor. So there goes a ship of the line sent abroad. Smallpox. No, remembering that the Continentals have been inoculated against smallpox. So when this event is rolled, remove all Indians off the map. We did that already because we just had this. Next, roll a die for a state. In the state rolled, all right, well, first we got to figure out the state. Can't be Quebec. And we roll a 2, which is New York. Well, that's good because there's Continentals in there at least. Where'd we go? I don't know why it matters for Continentals being. I just said they were inoculated. So, in a state roll, remove all loyalist cause Continentals, but not Continentals, to their force pool. So, we have a stack of cause units up there, so this is interesting. When this event rolls, remove all Indians. Yep, did that. Roll a die. We did that. In the state rolled, remove all loyalist and cause units. So, yeah, there's a whole chunk of cause units up there to the force pool. The only exception is, once an inoculation event has occurred, the Continentals do not move. So they're going to sit there, and all these cause units now have smallpox. So I'm going to pull them out one by one because I want to make sure that there are no Continentals still stuck in there. All right, so all of these cause units go back to the force pool. It does have the potential to change what I was thinking for strategy. I don't know. There's still a lot of Continentals in New York, though. All right, that's that. And then the Vermont check, well, remember that we don't worry about that because Congress is still in New York, so Vermont will stay pro-British, which is good. And that is it for random events. And that will take us to the end of turn 10. Now let's look at some strategy. Upcoming strategy possibly. So we have to take back Carolina. It seems like we're always doing this. So we've got to get Francis Marion Cause unit out of the Tidewater. And we need to, and that's critical because that's the target state again in turn 12. And then we've got to take 2 more states. So we have Virginia and Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, with that French army sitting in that lower county, I don't know how that would even be possible. So that would leave New York and New England. So there's 1, 2, 3. So I mean, our target, we may want to go after New England. Maybe our strategy when we come back, and maybe to try to take out these smugglers and take back New England. You know, with New York and Pennsylvania with these huge stacks in there, I don't know. I mean, we'll look at it and see, but I just don't think that would be wise at this point to try to push them out of there. But we'll see. We'll see. The other thing to note, like I said, the Liberty Bell sits at 5 now, and I think it's turn 14. Yeah, so on turn 14, you had this thing called Lord North Resign. So if this Liberty Bell is, I think it's 7 or below, and maybe below 7, but if it's, I think it's 7 or below. If we hit turn 14 and that Liberty Bell is sitting 7 or below, we could resign and take a, I think it's a marginal victory. So one thing just to keep in the back of our heads, or my head anyway, is if we get to turn 14 and we hold this Liberty Bell down, we could possibly end the game there. I'm not saying we will, because I don't know what's going to happen between now and turn 14, but it's something to consider. So, yeah, that is, I think, going to do it for turn 11. we are still teetering here, so we will discuss at the beginning of turn 12 what we're going to do about Pennsylvania, New York, and New England. And I think that's going to do it. So thanks for watching. If you're still watching, I hope you are. Yeah, thanks for watching. And again, I'm going to make again a pitch here for Armchair Dragoons. They are holding a online convention the end of this month. I recommend you go check that out and come on by if you. I did check, and if you want to come by, there's some of the lectures, and I think even to watch, it doesn't cost anything if you just want to show up and just take a look. It's $2 if you want to participate in one of the games, which I highly recommend, because some of the GMs, I do know there are some really good GMs running those games. But you know, there's some free stuff going on over there, so go check it out. And it's the end of this month, very end of the month, last weekend of the month. So yes, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.